Well, Leeds United sit pretty at the top of the Championship after successfully beating the Swans 4-3. I tell you what, them Swans will not be flapping their wings on the riverbanks anymore. Let's just get into it. What was that? Honestly, I just question them intros. All right, guys, what's going on? My name is Ollie Ward. Welcome back to the Ollie Ward channel. Welcome back to 5 Things We Learned. This is where we analyse the game that's just happened. Obviously, Leeds United last night went to Swansea, won 4-3, top of the league, and we go through 5 things we've learned about the game. Before we get into it, though, be sure to smash. I asked for 250 likes yesterday. We've smashed over 300 likes, so let's go for a humble 250 likes again. Let's hope we can get there. Also, subscribe if you're new. We're very close to 18,900 subscribers. So if you're new, yeah, maybe smart. Get down there and subscribe. Get your comments in, your man of the match, and all your thoughts on the Swansea game, and also your early score predictions for the Luton game, which is happening in 2 nights' time, Wednesday night. A lot of games over the winter period for Leeds United. Without further ado, let's get into 5 things we learned from Swansea 3, Leeds United 4. And what a game it was. You know, a 7-goal thriller. If you want my match reaction, go back and watch yesterday's video. This is more of the analysis of the game. So, number 1, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. Not me. Don't be horrible. We're talking Leeds United are top of the Championship for the first time this season, and that's something we've learned off the bat. Top of the Championship. Are Leeds United going to do it this year? Is it a thing where we just now run away with it? Or is it a thing where Leeds United don't do anything hard? Is it going to be a thing where I speak after the Luton game and go, look at all that hard work we've done on Sunday and look what we're doing now? Or will Leeds United now start to just bounce and get 3 points? And we've said it a lot this season about points over performances, and I still highly believe that. We're having a little chat about Farke later on in the 5 things, but yeah, Leeds United top of the Championship, probably deserved. If you look on paper, obviously football isn't played on paper. Leeds United have the best team in the league on paper. I know a lot of people don't like me saying that. You can get your comments in now saying that, but now we are technically top of the league with the best team. On paper, the best manager too. Statistically, we should... If we weren't called Leeds United, we'd be just going away right now with getting the 3 points and getting away from the rest of the league. But as we're Leeds United, we never do anything simple. But yeah, top of the Championship, well-deserved, and hopefully Leeds United can just continue. Next up, the thing we've learned from this, Dan James. Underrated, I have put here. And for the last few seasons now, or maybe last season and this season included, how underrated has Dan James been? And Dan James gives you a different winger. Obviously, Nonto, Ramazani, Somerville, even Anthony, Solomon. You know, these people give you very similar sort of traits of winger. But I think Dan James gives you just something completely different. The pace is terrifying. I'd hate to be a defender against Dan James because he beats you 10 times out of 10. There's no defender keeping up with Dan James. Maybe physically, yeah, but if you put him in a one-on-one race with any defender, any player in the league, Dan James is getting there. He got 3 assists for Leeds United last night, including the own goal. And just how vital is Dan James for this Leeds United side now? Obviously, he hasn't had the best time in a Leeds United shirt. The last season when we went down, we sent him out on loan to Fulham. He didn't do brilliantly there. And I thought that was the end of his Leeds United career. We dropped down a division. He had a brilliant season last year. He even had, you know, a brilliant back end, even in the playoff final. I thought he was our best player. Got that cut on his head as well. And the start of this season, he's been brilliant again. And Daniel Farke, you know, sung his praises last night and thought he should have got man of the match. And because Tanaka did get man of the match, but we'll have a chat about Tanaka too soon. But Dan James, I just think he's so underrated in this Leeds United team. He's starting to get better at his finishing, his assist, his contributions to the game. And Dan James is becoming an absolute asset for this Leeds United side. And I'm glad he is because, you know, he was decent at Swansea, didn't have the best time at Man United, didn't have the best first time around with Leeds United, but now the bloke is underrated and he gets what it means to be Leeds now. And I absolutely love Dan James. Another brilliant performance from the Welshman last night. Number 3, we're talking Solomon. Solomon has now just got started. This is what he said in his interview. He's just now getting started after a decent performance from Solomon. He's had a decent, well-ish time at his start of Leeds United. It's been odd because, you know, he had a decent start to the season, got injured. He's come back recently. Hadn't looked good at all. Really hadn't looked good at all with his little run like this. That's how he runs. And yeah, he got 2 goals last night, though. You know, he didn't have the best of games, but he got goals, and that's what you need to spark performances. And got 2 goals, very well taken goals in the end. Lovely ball from Dan James to slot Solomon in, and similar with Sam Byron when he put it over to Solomon's second. Lovely finish into the roof of the net. But he spoke after the game and said, "I'm just getting started now," which is nice to see. When Solomon was in the starting 11 yesterday and Willy Nonto wasn't there, it was one to question Farke if that went completely wrong. Why did you start with Solomon? I maybe think it has something to do with Tottenham, something to do with game time. But either way, Solomon needed to start playing more and getting a good performance. And he got a good performance last night. 2 goals to his name. I think his first goals in the last few seasons, really. Hasn't scored in a long old time, but hopefully he hits some form now. Doesn't mean I want to keep Nonto out of the team at all, because look what he done when he came on. He came on and scored. So it's hard when you've got Willie Nonto, Dan James, Solomon, and Ramazani. Who do you start? Obviously, Ramazani is just still recovering from an injury, but Nonto, Dan James, Solomon now scoring goals, Aronson in the 10, but Nonto can always play in the 10, so can Solomon, so can Ramazani. It's a good problem to have when you're top of the championship with all these very good players. So, yeah, it's good, but Solomon, hopefully, he will continue with that form. Now, number 4, we're talking about Tanaka, the best midfielder in November. Statistically, this is correct. Across the 4 leagues in English football, Tanaka has statistically been the best in winning back possession and most successful passes. And we got him for a steal of around £3 million. I mean, the Japanese international is absolutely brilliant. Got another man of the match performance last night. He just, he just covers everywhere. 70% of the world is covered with water. The rest is Tanaka. I tell you, the bloke is absolutely brilliant. And what a steal. And, a blessing that we have this bloke in our team. He's been absolutely brilliant. And, I think he's had man of the match most games I think he's played. I've never seen him really drop a stinker. Obviously, he drops a couple of bad passes every now and then. But when Tanaka does a bad pass, you go, oh, that's rare. And that's a sign of a very, very good footballer. And if you saw his build-up for the goal to get it back to 4-3 yesterday, or the winner, Nonto's winner, he won the ball back. He went down the line, an outside boot ball to Dan James. Dan James to Nonto, goal. And yeah, Tanaka, for me, has just been, he's excellent. He's so, so good. And I can't sing his praises enough. When Ampadu and Grove get fit, who do you drop? I think that's the age-old question. People want to see Tanaka and Ampadu in there, but then I think that's harsh on Rothwell, because Rothwell puts you a 7 or 8 each game, but Tanaka next to him does a 9 or 10 each game. And Rothwell doesn't even play bad. It's just how good Tanaka plays. But yeah, shout out to that bloke, Tanaka. What a legend. And number 5 here, it's got a question mark. I want to know you guys' opinion, but I thought Daniel Farke deserves respect. That was his 200th game as an EFL Championship manager last night, and I think he's got something like 108 wins, and might be actually more than that. Either way, he tops the list of people who have got 200 games under their belt, and obviously he's done brilliantly in Norwich. He does well at clubs. He does do well. At Leeds United last year, obviously we got the 90 points. We failed it a bit. Obviously his tactics will be questions. But do you think Farke deserves a bit of respect? I've seen a lot of negativity last night that Leeds United conceded 3 goals, but we scored 4. I'm not going to lie. I love Marcelo Bielsa, but if Marcelo Bielsa done that, like we saw a couple of times, against Liverpool opening game of season, or Fulham when we won 4-3 the next game, people were singing Leeds United and Bielsa's praises of how crazy the game was and how fun that was. Similar happened last night, or was it just Daniel Farke and we're not allowed to say any positive thing about him? I don't know. I'm not a massive fan of Daniel Farke's tactics all the time. I think he deserves respect if we're sitting at the top of the championship. What else can he do? I've always been, especially this season, it's points over performances for me. That's what we need. And we would have lost that game last year, or we would have drew that game last year. There's a different mentality with this team. And at the end, when they're all like doing this, like going up to the crowd, all holding each other's hands and just lifting it up, I'm liking it. It's a good sort of team we've got going here. And quickly before we end, Guilavogui, apparently he had a lovely little speech to the players before the game yesterday, and that's what's showing that. I mean, Guilavogi's already a legend in my eyes. What a man he is. And he was kind of just saying we need to go out there and win, keep the faith and all this stuff. And he's sitting on the bench. He's a free agent and he already gets Leeds. Absolutely love the man. Guys, hope you have enjoyed 5 things we've learned. Let's quickly run through it one more time. First thing, top of the championship, will we now run away with it, or we typical Leeds, it will make things hard? Second, Dan James being underrated. He has been a few seasons now. Solomon just getting started. Tanaka, the best midfielder in England in November. And does Farke deserve some sort of respect? I've been Ollie Ward. You guys have been excellent. Be sure to smash 250 likes. Subscribe if you're new. Get your comments in. All your thoughts on the Swansea game and your early predictions on the Luton game on Wednesday night. I'll be back for that. And yeah, really excited. Leeds United top of the Championship. Let's get it. I'm Ollie Ward. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheery. Oh.